Welcome to Attican Plays Railway Empire. All right, welcome to our fifth and final, episode of this free mode walkthrough. And let's just, sorry, but let's just start with a review. We started out in Grand Rapids. We built a two-city cluster. It worked great. It built like crazy. Then we expanded down to Knoxville, built another two-city cluster, Atlanta and Knoxville. It worked great. Fed it in to warehouse here. Then we talked about how to do a three-city cluster with Atlanta, Montgomery, and Augusta. You can see how big these cities are. They're all growing. We've actually we're done so well pumping in our goods here. We've got this steady state supply. Look at this. We're maxed out on some of the goods. They can't use them fast enough in the cities. And we could even adjust that a little bit with our industries, but right now I've been focusing on other things. So let me go back here. We then realized that our big, and I'll show you where we kind of are. We've gotten everything done. We bought Doc's company on the last one. I've actually since then bought out that Roger Smythe guy as well. He wasn't much. And we got our express trains going. I'll show you how we did that. And then our biggie here is get this. Remember we said 6.5 million in mail. Look, we're up at 6 million our last quarter, and I want to show you how I went about doing that. So what we're going to do. I decided not to make you watch all this because it's just really almost mind-numbing work. But what I did was I took all the lines that Doc Murphy had, and I turned them into express goods. And I'm going to show you now the trick to kind of hitting that last task in just a moment, because I've got a line here. I think I haven't done it on this one because I thought about it halfway through. But anyway, I built these double lines. I took everything. Remember, they're doing that easy mode, so everything they're doing single line. So I ran double lines, and anywhere I got down to a conflict, like right somewhere in here, he had a line coming down that was hooking up, and it got in my way. I just deleted it. I deleted a portion of it. I kind of left out the stub, but I deleted a portion. Like right here's an example. He had one coming in like this. I just deleted it out to get it out of my way. Then I brought the lines down into one of the platforms to make my express line I set up between Grand Rapids and Toledo. Then the one to Pittsburgh, I would go make a double line and then delete the end and move it over so that it wasn't conflicting with platforms. So it's running two different platforms here, one for Toledo, one for Pittsburgh, or I'm sorry, one for Grand Rapids, one for Pittsburgh, and then made a line running out like this. Now, one of the things that the computer tends to do is your computer opponent, AI opponent, is build. He'll build like there was right in here. He had a large station, and it was picking up these goods and taking them to the cities, and he was just running his other line right through it because remember he's on easy mode, so his train just passed through each other like they're like magic. So what I did was just kill that whole line. I'm not worried about supplying goods anymore. We could come back later and clean that up if we wanted to stay on this map and just build the super region. But I deleted it to get it out of the way. Ran my double line through. Ran a double line to Pittsburgh. Started an express service between Pittsburgh and Toledo. And then I just kept doing that, rinse and repeat. Pittsburgh to Buffalo, Buffalo to Syracuse, Syracuse to Albany, Albany to New York. And for some reason, Albany and New York can't seem to pick up any goods. I don't know why. And honestly, I think it's a fluke, and I don't feel like messing with it right now. So we're up to our last quarter was 6 million in profit, and that's the only thing we have left to reach all our objectives. We're in 1956. We've got 12 years to make it, so I think we've got a shot. And here was the magic elixir. The 6 express lines were easy. All we had to do is set up express goods, make sure we had the fastest train available, which is a Rogers American at 46 miles an hour, and use that for our express lines. And here's the other trick, and I think I could show you here. You go back in here and you say you've got an express goods only line, and you go say, I want to make mail my priority. So any time it stops, it's going to fill up with mail first and then take passengers as available. And that way you get the emphasis on your mail. So priority mail, priority mail and go. And these trains will start picking up. They won't fill up with passengers because there's so many passengers in some of these that they could never get to the mail. So we're just going to tell them to, I forget what was I doing here. I got those two. I missed this side. So I rather painstakingly went through, and I really wish they really need a line. They need to be able to say, this is the line, these are the trains on it, this is how I want the trains on this line to behave, and so you could do mass updates. That would be a big improvement, I think, to the game. Something they need to look into. I think if the game does well and it's selling, I hope they'll look into that as an improvement down the road. But it would be great to be able to go in here and say, okay, take this Toledo to Grand Rapids Express line, and I want it to be priority mail. And then instead of me having to go through every one of these and click them, I would have it set for the whole line. So now, let's just see if that worked at all. We still, there, he's unloading. Let's see if he picks up mail. There may not be any, but there we go. He got a little mail. He would have anyway, so that didn't really prove much, did it? But some of these other ones, there had when I first started, they had so much mail queued up that they would be full of mail for 2 or 3 runs, even. And let's grab some more employees while we're at it. I bought that Roger Smythe guy as well, and then of course that meant I had to go through that whole dance, the dance of the employees, and he had like 50 employees that I got lined up. But that's great. I mean, it just makes us more money. You can see I'm having a hard time finding a place to put these guys. I just put him on there. Don't really even need him. The security guards only help you on your freight runs.
I'll call you in the city and raise you one station.
So let's see how we're doing here. Here we're coming up on the end of a year. Let's just watch it and see how close we are. We may have to grow a city or two in order to get to 6.5 million. That's a lot. I didn't talk about, I also did Pittsburgh to Washington. That was another good one. And I'll turn around and take Washington and move it south if I have to, if this doesn't get the job done. But let's just wait and see where we are. Speed that up. Let's go. And we're about to have Merry Christmas 1856. Merry Christmas to our ancestors. 6.1. We're not quite there yet, so I'm going to have to go through. They're going to make me do this everywhere. Okay, I need to find more express lines that I haven't done already. Oh, well, let's run new ones. That's even better. Washington to Norfolk. We do have a Norfolk station, and we do have a Washington, so that would be an easy one. And here's one where I can just take a, well, there's a line, they're so hard to follow. There's a line running up here, up here, up here. Okay, he's got one to Baltimore. We even own Baltimore. Oh. All right, so we can run Norfolk. This one's to Baltimore. And what is that? It's like an opponent's line. How are they running into my station? Oh, that's that Roger Smythe guy. No, it didn't. Oh, this is ours. Sorry. Wow, what a confusing web. See, look, he runs a line down here and then like that, and then when he wants to go to Washington, he goes like that. Oh, God. All right, let's see what we can do here. This part up here, because of the geography, is so much more confusing, hard to deal with. So, what's this line right here? That's going out to logs. We don't care about that. Let's just build our own line. Oh, wait a minute. Here, this one goes to Washington. We can run gross. Okay, we can run a line Washington to Baltimore. And by the way, I wouldn't have to run the express. I could run, a mixed and then still have mail as my priority if I wanted to. See there, see how he picked up a full load of mail? And another full load of mail. So hopefully that should help a lot right there. And let's run Washington to Norfolk if we can. And we want to use a different track, so we know we're going to delete part of this.
I have to add in here, I really got confused by that the station down in Norfolk. I
And then we're going to run
kept
a
getting
double
them
track.
backwards in my
And I'm
head.
hoping this is. Now let me just make sure.
So
Let's
all this
confirm.
confusion could have been avoided if I just had the good sense to know which station was mine and which station was the computers. And the thing was, because it showed me the blue
Okay,
Norfolk,
we can
I
make it
kept thinking
go
it was referring to
to
that other station. No excuses. I just made it much harder than it had to be.
All these train loadings are where we've maxed out our capacity. Now, if we wanted to save some money, we could probably drop a train or two because we've obviously got all we need, but we're just going to let it ride for now. And well, I think the confusion is this is my station, and that's the enemy. That because that's blue, it's a little confusing, or it got me. This actually belongs to the enemy, so to speak. So this is our station. So we need to run a line out of here. Aren't you glad I didn't make you watch? Well, I couldn't make you watch, but aren't you glad I didn't show all this happening to all this other crap? So let's kill. All this, and let's go back here and see what's going on. Oh, I forgot to put signals in Washington to Baltimore. There we go. And they're still carrying mail. Good. That's going to help a lot. But I want to hurry up and try to get it done this quarter if I can. Oh, and if I can, if I can figure out these lines, I think I could do it. Okay. So here we go. I'm hoping this is going where we want it to. Looks like it is. So that gives us a double line to kind of nowhere. There's Washington right up ahead of us. That's a good sign. Now let's run this puppy to Washington. Cross over. Okay, now we've got Norfolk to Washington, our supply towers. I don't know how I did that. 1, 2, 3. I'm getting lazy now. I'm not even using signals to divide them up. I'm just using supply towers. That last one was totally unnecessary. Here, let's just stop that, Danny. Okay, we've got a signal on this end. Signal on this end. It's coming out of a different track. Going from Washington to Norfolk. Express goods only. Priority mail. And off he goes with a load of mail. Then we'll do Norfolk to Washington. Express goods. Priority mail. Mail. And we'll run 8 trains. I think I just accidentally bought something. Didn't mean to do that. Look at all this mail. Look at all this mail. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Now, what's going on here? Okay. This waiting for a clear route, that's just because he's waiting for this train, which is just sitting there. I mean, if we want to clean this up, we can just say we don't need this train anymore. That's fine. We're going to keep that warehouse full. And I believe I'm going to do another series of videos in free mode with the same map and show you yet another approach that I think will be excellent. I have high hopes for it. All right, our last quarter was 6.115. Well, let's see if we've done enough to get over the hump with those Washington and Baltimore lines. If not, we'll just do some more. Speed up, man, speed up. And let's look at our quarterly report. We want this number right here to be 6.5 million, and then we're done. Don't know if we're quite there. I hope. Because I'm kind of tired of this one.
Explain why your employee suddenly wants to work for me either.
Aha, bingo, we did it. So let's see how we did. So we had 7.7 million in mail income. Excellent. Let's see how we did on score. There we go, a perfect score. .8 rating out of 30. So we did a little better than perfect, I guess you could say. Took us 7 years and 4 months. Ended up with $258 million company value, 14,000 miles of track, 1,300 trains on duty, wagons on duty, excuse me. So I guess we could say that was a good job. And I going to wrap it up now. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope it helps you become a better player. I hope it piques your interest in what I think is going to be a good game. Remember, the game hadn't even come out yet. This is just beta we're playing with. Um, I do hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you'll join me for our next Railway Empire video. Thank you.